post this in the morning, but it's morning right now. This is episode 1 of Larkspur Handmade. I'm Lindsay. If you've been with me for a while, you probably know that. If you haven't, thank you so much for checking out my little video. I guess I'll do some introductions. My name, as I said, is Lindsay. I go by Lost and Fond on Instagram and Ravelry, or you might hear my name, Lindsay Fowler. I live in Northeast Ohio with my family. I have 2 little boys, 2-year-old twins, Vaughn and Harrison, and I live with my husband, Jared, who I've been with forever. And we live and work here in Northeast Ohio. Today is Saturday on a beautiful, gloomy September 22nd. This is my favorite weather. It's proving challenging for filming. I feel like my lighting is really dramatic because of how dark it is in here, but it seems to be the only way I can get the color to really balance. When I show you this beautiful yarn I have sitting next to me, I want you to be able to see it. So hopefully next time the lighting will be a little better, but here we are. So I decided to start a podcast. I've been sharing my knitting and my sewing and my crafting for a long time on Instagram. And I just recently released my first 2 patterns on Ravelry, and this seemed like kind of the next natural step. I don't know what I really want to get out of this other than just joining the conversation. I've been watching various podcasters for years, and it just seems like so much fun. My friend Emily recently started one, and it's just so cool to I don't know, I watch it, you feel like you're kind of having coffee with them and having a conversation, even though it's one direction. So that's kind of what I'm here for. I don't know how often I'll do this. It's gonna kind of depend on how often I have something to share, how often my boys will let me do this. Right now they're napping, so fingers crossed they sleep through this whole thing and I can get through everything I have without having to stop too many times. I don't really know what the editing's gonna work like on this. I'm gonna try not to do too many cuts and just keep it natural, but if I go off on some crazy tangent, then I may cut it out. So I have a little bit of knitting to share with you. I have a little bit of dream knitting. I have a little bit of stash enhancement. I am coming to you from my new office, also the guest room. We took the we took the full-size bed out of here. I painted, I bought a new shelf, and we're going to be putting probably a trundle bed in here since a full-size bed will no longer fit with all my stuff. And we don't use our guest room that often. We don't have guests very often. So I hope they don't mind sleeping with my stash. So with the traditional format, what am I drinking? I treated myself to a case of chai tea concentrate, the Tezao, I think that's how you say it, that I get it from Costco. And I made myself a little latte. It is in my, spoiler alert if you haven't gotten your Owl Crate yet. Owl Crate is a subscription box for book lovers, especially if you love, I'm a dork, like fantasy or young adult fantasy. But they always have a lot of Harry Potter stuff in theirs, and this is the mug that we got this month. It's inspired by Prisoner of Azkaban, I think. And it's got the Marauders on it, and the Night Bus, and it's way cute. And I have some chai in here. It smells really good. Probably not the wisest choice. I don't know if it's going to make me, it's probably not going to help clear my throat, but it tastes amazing, so we're gonna go with it. So what do you want to start with? What I'm working on? Well, let's start with the simple one. So my first pattern was the white thorn socks. It was cabley goodness with texture and fanciness, and it was like, of course for my first pattern I had to pick the most complex thing I could. But it launched last month and people are loving it, and it's so cool to see you guys posting on Instagram and Ravelry, and it's just been surreal. So my second pattern was much simpler. I kind of wanted it to be my alternative to a vanilla sock if you wanted something a little more interesting. I call it my slack-tied socks. I started knitting it when I was at the coast, hence the name. And here is the sample I knit for the pattern. You can see this like purl channel that starts up here, and then like the next step's here and here, and then it travels down the front of the foot. I did this in Sweet Tea Yarns by Molly Klein for the main tweed color. So I think the color is called Dad's More Denim. And then I just use like some Knit Picks Stroll Tweed for the heel and toe. But those are my slack-tied socks. They're available right now on Ravelry. But what I love about this pattern is I graded it in 5 or 6 sizes, and it goes all the way up through men's sizes, and if you want to grade it up even further, it's pretty easy to do it. I have never knit my husband a pair of socks, which is crazy because I am an avid sock knitter, and he loves wool socks, and I've knit him a hat, and that's it. That's the only thing I've knit him. So I decided to make him a pair of slack-tied socks for Christmas, and he knows about them because I had him try on the sample pair so I could kind of get an idea for sizing on him. And lucky for me, he has narrow ankles, so he wears like the same size as me. I'm just going to do a couple less decreases in the gusset to make the foot a little wider and then the foot a little longer, but other than that, it's going to be easy. So I am using Mondim, which is a Portuguese sock yarn. It's a non-superwash, 100% wool Portuguese yarn. So I have warned him, he is not allowed to wash these. When he wants them washed, he needs to bring them to me and I will wash them. So this is Mondim. This is in like their natural color. I want to say, I don't know, it's on my Ravelry page. They don't have color names and it's hard for me to remember numbers. So the main body is the natural color. And then for the accent, I'm using their red. I got the red on Tult, and it was called Strawberry, but I don't know. I don't think that's the official color name. So this is the red, and this is the natural. Like I said, they're non-superwash. They're a little rustic. They feel a little scratchy until you block them, and then they get super soft. I've knit another pair of socks in this wool, and I love them. I've been obsessed with them. It was actually the first pair of socks that I knit this year, just a pair of vanilla socks. So these are the slack-tied socks. You can see it kind of started those purl channels in the back. They look super subtle on camera, but they're there. And instead of doing a full cuff in the contrast, I decided to make them kind of sporty and camp inspired. So I instead made the cuff a little bit longer and did like, how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of the red in the middle. So the whole body of the sock will be in the natural, and then the heel will be in the red again, and probably the toe as well. And I think they're going to be really cool and masculine and soft and super warm. And he loves them. I can tell. He won't like gush over them like I do, but I can tell he's excited about them. And I'm excited to knit them for him. Like, he deserves a pair of, I feel like everybody deserves a pair of hand knit socks, but he really does. So slack-tied socks, they're going slowly. This pattern knits super fast, but I have had my attention drawn elsewhere, so I haven't been working on these a whole lot. I also love the way they look on the inside. Like, you can really see those purl channels. I don't know, if I wasn't such, I don't love reverse stockinette. I just don't like the way it looks. But the inside looks really cool. So those are going. Those are kind of my, like, I always like to have at least one pair of vanilla socks going on my 9-inch circulars. These ones are being knit on 9-inch circular Chiagu red lace. I love 9-inch circulars. I know they're not for everybody, but I love them. It's the only way I like to knit socks anymore. I'll do magic loop too, and I use magic loop for the toe, but almost all my socks are done on 9-inch circulars now. They're just really fast for me. It's living in my trusty fringe field bag. So it's my vanilla sock right now. My other, it's not really a whip. I haven't touched it in weeks, but I really wanted to share it with you because it's super pretty. I am wearing, oops, I dropped a stitch. As you can see, I'm wearing my Zweig. I think it's, I've said Zweig before, but my inner German heritage tells me it's Zweig, so that's what I'm wearing. It's a fingering weight sock yarn sweater with colorwork. It's by Boylan Knitworks or Caitlin Hunter. And ever since I knit this, even though it took me forever and I kind of slogged through the body and it got exhausting and I was super tired of it by the time I was done, I love it, and I have really wanted another sweater in this weight, so I started one. I threw caution to the wind. I took the most precious yarn in my stash, which is the Sweaters Quantity of La Bien Amie in their Belle Epoque. I don't think I'm saying that right. I'm dropping stitches like crazy. Sorry, gotta pick those up. I won it last year in a giveaway, and it's been sitting in my stash waiting for the right project. It's a little bit variegated, and it definitely varies from skein to skein, so you can kind of see between the two, like this one's a lot darker. That's not just the light, it truly is. So I am alternating skeins. Let me see if I can get from my stash. Hang on one sec. So here it is. This is the colorway I'm using. You can see the label. I don't know if it's going to be backwards, but it's on their Merino Twist sock, which is an 80-20 base. I have 4 skeins of it, and it is gorgeous. Maybe, I don't know. It's like a kind of sandy pinkish blush with some darker kind of warm gray variegation through it, and then it's got speckles of purple and green and blue and pink all throughout it. Like, it's gorgeous. So I've been saving this for something special, and then I just decided it just really needed to be a really simple drapey pullover that I could wear almost like a super fancy sweatshirt. And what fit the bill was the Pavement Sweater, which I don't know who that's by. I can't remember now. Maybe Vera Valimaki? All of my show notes I'm gonna post on Ravelry and my Ravelry group, so I will link that down below with all the details. I did not write down notes. I'm terrible at this. I'm doing her painting sweater, which is this beautiful, like, wide kind of open neck fingering weight sweater. It's got like a garter collar with a little bit of shaping, and then it has this gorgeous kind of shoulder shaping to make the raglan sleeve. And then just like a really open body. It's knit on, what are these? Size 7s. So I did get gauge, but it's pretty, like, I feel like it's gonna be really drapey and gauzy. I think it's gonna be really beautiful. It's similar to the color. This is also La Bien Amie and her Amy's Birthday colorway that I used for the yoke on this. And it's kind of similar. This is a little more pink, while this has like greens and blues in it. But I think it's gonna be really, really stunning. And this base is so soft, and I'm just gonna wanna wear this all the time. So like I said, I started this a few weeks ago. I really haven't picked it up since. I've just had other priorities. Oh, and here's my little progress keeper by the Gnome Knitter. Joanna makes like the cutest progress keepers. It's a little egg, bacon, and cheese sandwich. I'm super excited about this. I just haven't had time to knit it. It's also living in one of my project bags that I made myself. It's like my tattooed knitter and tattooed mermaid that I made before I went on vacation to the beach. I just haven't picked it up. It's not that I don't like it. It's not that I don't like knitting on it. I've just been really busy with some other priorities. So I'm hoping to pick it up soon. I'm not gonna get it done by Ravelry. That's crazy. But I would like to get it done this winter so I can wear it. So we'll see. The last whip I wanted to share with you is a new pattern. So I have not shown this on Instagram yet. I've not posted anything on Ravelry. I've mentioned it in Instagram lives, but I figured since you're watching me here, you deserve a little treat, so I'm gonna preview it. It's in another project bag I made myself in this adorable Ray Ritchie kind of fairy girl inspired fabric with like a botanical print on the inside. And I am knitting it in Woolberry Fiber Co. in her bouquet colorway, which is like this pretty blushy pink, on her Berry Merino base, which is her 100% merino, like a 2-ply twist. Super soft, really gorgeous, semi-solid. Like I want 3 sweaters quantities in this base. It's stunning and it knits up beautifully. I am also using 2 skeins of that, plus I'm using 1 skein of her Berry Mohair, which is like a silk mohair base. And it's in her Orange Blossom colorway, which is like a light kind of pastel orange, and then it's got speckles of green and darker orange through it. And I think this cake is like the cutest thing ever. It's like the fluffiest cake I've ever seen in my life. So I'm using 2 skeins of this, 1 skein of this. And this shawl I'm calling right now the Bennett Sister shawl. It's the first pattern in my Pride and Prejudice inspired collection, which I believe is going to be a trio, a sock, mitts, and a shawl. Not finalized yet. I might do more, I might change it, I don't know. But it's a triangular shawl, fingering weight, and it's knit from edge to edge, so from corner to corner all the way across, growing in the middle and going back up at the top. And I really wanted this to be super simple and graphic and something you could work on really intuitively. So it starts on this end and it's just simple garter with an I-cord edge. But then once you get to a certain point, like I like to think when you start getting bored, you can see over here, you start this kind of graphic shape in the stockinette. And that carries all the way up through the point, which is over here. And then, oh, this light is just not showing it. But then once you get to the halfway point, things get a little more exciting again. As you start your decreases, you add that mohair. So my intention for this shawl is that you would use like a semi-solid or a tonal for the background of the whole thing. And then when you get to the middle and you add the mohair, you use a mohair that has a similar base color and maybe just adds that kiss of speckle and color through it so you can see that green is starting to show up. I took some pictures of it this morning in the morning light and it really shows off the difference in texture that the mohair creates and also adds that little bit of orange on those speckles. And you can see here that point, that's where the midpoint is. So then this will create like a diamond shape in the middle. You can see it there. And once you block it out, I think it's gonna be stunning. So it's pretty big. I think it's gonna be really beautiful. You could get more dramatic and you could add mohair that's a completely different color or a complementing color, and it would give it like a totally different effect. Or you could do a speckle for the whole thing and then just add a mohair for the added texture on the one side. But I'm really excited to get this finished and blocked and wear it, because I think when you have the one side in just the plain fingering and the other side with the mohair and you wear it, I think it's going to create some really interesting shapes and combinations of texture, and it's just going to drape really well. I really wanted it to be something like a modern Bennett sister would wear. So not overly fussy. I just wanted it to be easy to wear, easy to knit, something that they'd work on in the parlor while they were softly chatting, or they'd wear on a walk in the morning, because that's obviously goals. Like, everybody wants to be as cool as a Bennett sister. I wish that was reading better, but I think I got a couple angles where you could see it. So this has been my main squeeze lately. I would really love to get it done by Rhinebeck. If you didn't know, I'm going to Rhinebeck in less than a month now, and I'm so excited. but I would love to have this done by then, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm past the halfway point. I will be putting a call out for testers, but I don't know when. So that has been what I have been jamming on, but I don't know. When you see, when I talk about my dream knitting, you'll understand why I'm not sure how much longer I'll be working on this. Oh, you can see that halo. It's so pretty. Like, you can really see the texture. That mohair, Bethany's yarn is so beautiful and subtle and tasteful. Yeah, you can see that. So the difference between the side that doesn't have mohair and the side that does have mohair. Oh, that's pretty. So yeah. Bennett Sisters shawl releasing this winter, maybe this fall, probably this fall. I'm pretty quick, so. I'm calling this episode Knit Fast Dye Warm because of my next not quite whip. So I applied when I saw Born and Raised New Pattern Red Moon. I was infatuated, like I had to have it. So when I saw her calling for testers, even though I am knee deep in sample knits for my own shop, I had to apply. Even better when I saw who she was partnering with, which is Knox Yarn Co. Danielle is like one of my all-time favorite dyers, and she makes beautiful colorways, and I just eat up anything she dyes. So I applied and I got in. So as soon as that yarn gets here, which probably won't be for a week since Danielle's going to VKL and she's going to be dyeing up the kits when she gets back. As soon as that gets here, I am going to be dropping everything and starting that, because I would love to get it done by Rhinebeck so I can wear it and take some really awesome FO pictures for her. So that is going to be my whole world when it gets here. So I can't wait. I am using the kit that uses Danielle's color sticks for the background. So it's like a black, and then the body, or not the body, the color work in it, I'm using, like, it's called, I think, Psycho Pop. It's like, sorry, this is really blowing out right now. It's like a silver gray with speckles. So that's what I'm using. I can't wait for it to get here. It's her Danielle's base, and it's got like a little bit of mohair in it, so I think it's gonna be really pretty. This is blowing out. Hold on one second. That's better. Sorry, the light changed. I don't know, some of the clouds went away. So we're back in focus. Is this any better now? Oh yeah, you can see that a lot better. I don't want to reshoot it. Oh well. You get the point. So those are really my whips, other than my big basket of UFOs that I have sitting under me right now. I've toyed with the idea of doing a segment on here that's called like Frog or Not or something, because I have some whips that are really old and I cannot decide whether I should just call it and frog them or get to it and finish them. So maybe I'll do that next time. I don't know. Let's see, what next? Dream knitting or stash enhancement? Let's do stash enhancement because it kind of leads into it. So like I said, my pattern released 2 weeks ago, last week, about a week ago, last Saturday, so exactly a week ago. And as one does, I went on a little bit of a yarn bender. I've been trying to abstain so I can save my money for Rhinebeck, but when I put a pattern up, I save most of the money and then I take a portion of it and I invest it back into my business. That's what I tell myself. So I did a little shopping. So my first order is from Bethany of Woolberry Fiber Co. I adore her yarn. I adore her. Obviously my shawl that I'm working on is in her yarn. She has such gorgeous bases and a beautiful color sense, and she's such a sweet person. So I got 2 skeins from her. The first one is her Here Comes the Sun colorway on her Cozy sock, which is an MCN base. It's this blushy pink, because of course. And then it's got this like punchy sunny yellow that is stunning. Somebody used this to test knit my Whitethorn socks and I was obsessed as soon as I saw it. I love anything that has kind of an unexpected speckle in it, and this just fits the bill. Plus her MCN base is way gorgeous. So that was number one. Second purchase from her was her Woodsy Wildflowers colorway. And this is on her BFL sock base, which she calls Berry Sock. And it's an 80-20, 80% BFL, 20% nylon base. I'm obsessed with BFL. I love it for socks. I find it to be really hard wearing, but also super soft. It has a little bit of a rustic quality to it. I'm not afraid of wool that is a little scratchy, but this is super soft. For a BFL, this is one of the softest BFLs I felt. So it's in her Woodsy Wildflowers colorway, which is this pretty lilac bluish purple, and then it's got speckles of magenta and purple and navy blue. It's super pretty. So I ordered both of these from her. And one of them, I haven't decided which, I'm leaning towards this one. I have been plotting a mystery knit along. I'm thinking about doing that in the spring. I have a design in mind. I've done enough knit along, like mystery knit alongs, that I know what I like and I know what I don't like. And what I don't like is when they're super predictable, but I also don't like when the pattern feels forced. Like I don't want it to be like day one, day two. Like I don't want it to look segmented. I want it to be a design that feels like it was thought through all the way, instead of being like block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. So with that in mind, I put together kind of my personal dream MKL sock pattern. I have it all sketched out. I've started writing it. I need to knit a sample, and then I'm going to need some super secret test knitters who can keep it to themselves. And one of these is going to be for my spring MKL. I can't decide. Which one do you think I should do? This one? And the cashmere is super pretty. I think it's kind of sunny and fun for spring, but this is really beautiful too and kind of feels like late winter. I don't know. Which one would you knit? Tell me in the comments. So that was my first purchase. My second purchase is not yarn. It is a bag from Woodsy Wild. I have been in love with this bag since I saw it when I was at Starlight Knitting Society. I was hoping they would have them. They did not. But it is a sock bag. It is a zipper bag, which I love because I hate sewing zippers. All my bags are always drawstring bags because I just hate sewing zippers, and she uses these beautiful like brass zippers. And she always includes one of these rings on it, which is great. I use those all the time. I clip things on them, I clip a handle on it, I do all sorts of stuff. But it's this stunning botanical print. I love botanical prints. And it just has this nice little gray, I think it's Essex linen base. And just a beautiful open interior and this like pretty gray. Just really, really simple. I love it. Her bags are such a nice quality. They're a good weight, they're not too heavy. I fold them over and use them like a little bucket. So super cute, good size. I love it. Thank you so much. She held on to one for me so I could buy it, because sometimes shopping sale times is hard for me with the boys. You never know when they're gonna need their mama, so I miss a lot of sales, but she's a good friend and she let me order one of these. So beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much. I can't wait to use it at Rhinebeck. I also traded this week with ink bags. I found a ton of zippers, and like I said, I hate sewing zippers, so I posted those that I was interested in destashing them. She reached out to me and was interested, and then I asked if maybe she wanted to trade instead of buying them, and she did. So I finally got one of her adorable little Notions pouches, and this is like the cutest. It's called Her Little Things ink bag, and it's in the willow colorway. And it's just this beautiful little linen Notions pouch with the clear front so you can see your Notions inside. And I picked out like this pretty green for spring. I mean, it just goes with a lot of my stuff. Green is one of my favorite colors. So I love it so much. I think it's so cute. I want one of her peekaboo bags. It's beautifully made. The quality is so good. Highly recommended. She has some really adorable colorways in stock right now. It's stunning. So that's for sure gonna be like a staple in my kits right now. Like, how cute is that? Like, I want that, and then I want to knit, I don't know, one of these in it. Like, it's just gonna be great. The last stash enhancement I did, like I said, I'm weak for anything Danielle Dies. So she had like her big Halloween update, and I couldn't help myself. So last year she did a collaboration with Woodsy Wild for this Harbinger sock set. There was a beautiful bag with a raven on it, and she dyed up this colorway for it. It's this pretty purple, and then she has like a black mini. I think this is her Sticks colorway, is the mini, which is what the body of my sweater is going to be. And I missed it last year. I'm pretty sure I was going to be there for her sale, and then the boys needed something, but I missed it last year, and I got it this year. This is on her Mars sock base, which is gorgeous. It's a 75/25, and it is one of my go-tos sock bases. It is so soft. The stitch definition is gorgeous. Gosh, look at the speckles. She is a genius when it comes to picking out like unexpected speckle colorways. I think it's amazing what she does. She is just a total wizard. So I finally got that this year in her Halloween sale. I adore it. I can't wait to knit it. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet. Socks, obviously. I don't know what socks though. I also got her Skagat colorway. And this is going to be socks, I think. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking it could be cool for a colorwork sweater, like for like a yoke. If I used like a really simple semi-solid, maybe that's crazy. Is that crazy? Or maybe a stripe, like I love variegated as a stripe. I think our label is so pretty. But this is a super variegated color. I had to look up, like I don't know how to pronounce that, but I looked it up, and it's like those like Norwegian forest cats. It looks so cute. So it's such a cool colorway. I think it's going to be really amazing for something. This is also on Mars sock, which is a 75/25 base. Here it is without the label on it. Her twists are always like perfect too. So I think it's super cool. And I can't wait to see what that looks like knit up. Either it's going to be vanilla socks, because you can't go wrong, or into something bigger. I haven't decided, but it's going to my stash for now. I also ordered her, I think this is a new colorway, Pumpkin Pasty, which is a Harry Potter confection. So you can see, I think this is also on Mars sock. Yep. And it is the prettiest pumpkin-y orange, slightly variegated, lots of good speckles. I think it's a really unusual shade of orange. I feel like you don't see a lot of people dyeing this shade of orange, probably because people don't know what they're going to do with it. I certainly don't. I was thinking it could be fun to do with like her Sticks colorway for like something super Halloween-y. Like just totally traditionally Halloween-y, like maybe a trick-or-treat shawl or something. But I couldn't pass it up. I'm feeling fall right now, so I got that, and then one more, her Golden Stair colorway, which is gorgeous. This is also on Mars sock. Everything I got from her was on Mars sock this week. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tonal gold yellow with purple and pink speckles in it. And just the more you look at it, the more you find just surprising colors. Gosh, it's so pretty. I was thinking this would be amazing with like a burgundy, to pair it with like kind of one of this like burgundy pink colors for a big shawl. Gosh, it would be pretty for socks too. I'm an obsessive sock knitter, so I don't know. I see everything and I think they'd be beautiful socks, but it would also be gorgeous in something else. So I got a lot of single skeins this week, but all beautiful. All will be well loved in my stash for now. Again, tell me which one of these two you think I should start first, but these are all going in my stash. But you can see up there, kind of, oh, I'm blowing out again. What is the sun doing? Oh, it's coming out. Okay, sorry, life with kids. They're fine, they're just napping. But I thought I heard a noise, so I went up to see what it was, and I didn't, unless it was my dogs. It was probably my dogs. So, dream knitting. As I mentioned, I'm probably not gonna have a lot of time to knit, but in my head I have 8 pairs of hands and infinite time, so I love to look through my stash and pick stuff out and imagine what I would make with it. And Plucktober is coming up, which is Plucky Knitter's huge knit along. I didn't know about this until my friend Emily told me about it, who is Sweater Weather Knits here on YouTube, and Esposetta everywhere else. She is a diehard Plucky fan, and the little Plucky I do have in my stash is usually from her, either scraps of hers or in this case a full gorgeous skein. So if I get through that sweater and I have a miraculous amount of time on my hands, I would love to use this skein to make something for Plucktober. It is this stunning color. It is like a greenish, bluish turquoise. It reminds me of like kind of a peacock blue or an ocean blue. It's called Studio B. I don't know if that means it's like a limited colorway or what, but it's on their cachet base, which is 100% cashmere. It is the only skein of 100% cashmere I have in my stash. It's the softest yarn I have ever felt in my life. It is a worsted weight, and I've never felt anything like this. So what I am imagining is I have a worsted weight mitt design sketched out that is textural and would eat up every last ounce of this. So I might cake it up and see where I get with it, but I haven't decided. It's gonna happen one way or another. Will it happen in October? Probably not. Maybe I'll take it to Rhinebeck with me. Probably not, because I don't think I really want to be working on an original while I'm there, which is leading to me to my next one. So I'm thinking mitts. What would you make with it? 100 grams of worsted weight cashmere. What would you make? Tell me. I'm not gonna buy another skein of cashmere to go with it, so this is all I got. What would you make? My next dream knitting is what I think I'm gonna take to Rhinebeck with me. I know I'm probably gonna wanna cake something up while I'm there, but I need airplane knitting. And I haven't knit a just plain pair of self-striping socks in a while, not since I did the stripy socks Cal, I think. No, after that I did knit another pair of stripy socks. Nomadic Dye Works, but this is by Varland. I'll link to it. It is her tweed sock base. You can see the label fell off, but it is in her The Sweater I Couldn't Afford, or that sweater that I couldn't afford, something like that. It reminded me of Hufflepuff colorways. I am a Hufflepuff all the way. So when I saw it, I thought I had to have some Hufflepuff socks, especially since it's tweed and self-striping. It's all my favorite things, all in one ball. If I recall the white stripes are wider than the black and the gold. I might be wrong though. But I'm thinking that that's really fall-ish and would be super easy to knit while I'm chatting or flying. Plus, if I do my 9-inch circulars, the tips are short enough that I don't think they'd have an issue with it in my carry-on. Does anybody have any experience with flying with metal knitting needles? I'm like terrified they're going to make me throw them out. So if you have flown with metal knitting needles and they did not give you a problem, please reassure me that it's going to be okay. But I'm thinking this is what I'm going to take with me. I have a couple of other options. I mean, I'm very likely still going to be working on that pair of socks for Jared, but I really want to make something for me. I'm thinking about also bringing, hang on. I got one 50-gram skein of Bay Street Yarns Rhinebeck 2018 colorway on her John Henry sock. It's this stunning like brown with burgundy and orange and all the fall colors. Kind of, it almost looks like it's like overdyed. It has so much depth and it's so rich. And I got 50 grams to make myself some shorties. I just want to make like some Rose City rollers, some super simple short socks that I can remember Rhinebeck with. So these are kind of the two I'm thinking of packing to knit on the plane and on the train. We are flying into LaGuardia and then we are taking the train from Penn Station up to Rhinecliff. We have India Untangled tickets and I can't wait to meet some people there and see their beautiful yarn and all their other stuff. So then we'll be spending all of Saturday at the festival. We might go to an open house or something Saturday night. I don't know, we're gonna kind of play it by ear. And then Sunday we also have some like brunch plans, then we'll take the train back and fly home. So I feel like that's like, I have to knit socks, but I'm thinking these two are it. One or both, I don't know. So those are my Rhinebeck picks. Do you want another one? Maybe? Okay, so I was gonna do one more, but I'm afraid my time is up. I can hear my little ones stirring up there. It's a little early, they're kind of on a nap strike right now, so I'm lucky I got this much time, but thank you so much for joining me. If you want more, please tell me. If you liked this, tell me. If you didn't like it, also tell me, because I don't know where this is going or what I'm doing with it, but here I am. So thank you so much again for joining me. I hope it was worth your time. I can't wait to show you more. Hopefully next time I'll have some sweater progress maybe, or a finished sweater, I don't know. So have a beautiful week, have a beautiful night, have a beautiful day whenever you're watching this. My name is Lindsay again. This is Larkspur Handmade, and happy knitting.